Hi there, everybody. My name is Kate, and welcome to my channel, Trinergy Awakens Naturally. I have, I hope, a quick message, a channeling that just came through that, I've been last few videos talking about fear and the projection of that from other people, and especially during a time when, there's a lot of negativity being thrown around, or spiritual warfare, or backbiting, gossip, intended harm, whatever it is. There's just a lot of very negative junk that's being thrown everywhere. We're looking for somebody to blame, we're looking for somebody to shame, we're looking for somebody to carry our baggage for us, and if we can dump it over there, we will. It's a natural response, and it's what the paradigm is. It's the terrible understanding that we have that that's how we dysfunctionally get through our lives, and it has been how we've dysfunctionally groped our way through our lives, and that system is changing. And as we heal and grow and evolve and get out of dysfunctional behavior, those that aren't quite ready to move it along at that pace, which isn't dictated by human beings, that's dictated by cosmology and divinity, God source, God frequency, whatever you call that, fifth element, 5D, whatever it is that we don't control, that's what controls this this drive to we're healing. And those that do not want to, that just refuse to, I've noticed a real uptick in the push it forward, put it out there, it's their fault. And what was so amusing to me is that, there's sometimes whenever we have a glow up and a blow up that's, looking really great or whatever, we separate from people and actually do better. They get super charged and jealous, angry, whatever, because of whatever reason in them that's lacking, their, lack of courage, their self-esteem issues, their trauma history, whatever it is. When they're projecting that stuff forward, it is almost like fuel for people that are further along in their healing journey, at least me anyway. Let me just put it right back here on my own plate that I can say, is that every time some really just nasty stuff in the last couple of years has been thrown my way energetically, and that warfare junk, that's food, man. I use that. If I alchemize it and transmute it, then that's food for me to keep growing and blowing up, however it is that I'm doing that, or however anybody else is doing that. It doesn't have to look like a certain thing, and by glow up and blow up, I mean just successful living. I'm in my purpose, I'm living my dharma, that kind of thing. Not that, I'm a whatever on Broadway or whomever, whatever we think we should look like when we're most successful. For me, I know that every time something was thrown my direction, I used that. Yes, it hurt my feelings, made me cry, and it was terrible a whole bunch of times and all that junk and blah, blah, blah. But the channel message I got was, yeah, they kind of made you, Kate. You can actually send them the fruit basket and thank you note now. You're to that point where you can say thank you, because every time I was challenged and brought to my knees with an ego thing of how much of that do you want to hang on to, Kate? Well, okay, not that much. That be humbled, be humbled for a minute and find out what it is to not eat when you want to because you just don't have the resources, or find out what it is to have to be really scared and wonder if you're going to have a home because your home's been sold, and you find out with the cops showing up that, oh yeah, your home was sold, sorry, the divorce didn't go well and you lost. Oh, okay. Hit one of those moments, and me, if I transmute it when I can get to that point, and believe me, that was a rapid, learn how to do that quickly, Kate, because it's taking you down faster to get in the bog and the slog of, that alchemize it and move it on, means that was just feeding my soul and giving me more energy. So these individuals, whoever they are, and I have fans, across the ocean, some of them that you're working way too hard and you need to back up, because every time that you send me a weird email or make a weird comment or whatever, you energetically push it my way, I feel it, I see it, and I know it, and I'm gonna push it right into divinity, which is calling me to be better at what I do, and it's really irrelevant what you're about. How's that? I have to continue because someone came to my door and I needed to take care of that. So pardon me, but I don't want to spend a whole lot more time, just to say that, because I'm not sure where I left off, but just to say that when we get to that point where we're healed enough then we're empowered enough to say, oh, you threw some real hate and ass stuff my direction, and I'm going to use that to my benefit, because not using it to my benefit means I'm going smaller, 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 and deeper, deeper, deeper into the rabbit hole, and not finding it to be much of a very good experience with, you know, the nasty queen. I don't want to play croquet that way, and, you know, Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. I don't want to do that. And so the way to challenge myself became, how can I not take on the burden of all the fear, the anger, and the resistance, and whatever it is, just karmic garbage and just bullshit. It's bullshit, you know, that I don't want to deal with it, so I'm going to throw it back your direction. Well, how can I use that so that it's not taking me down, and I'm actually able to build and build and build and get to my crown, kind of thing? Well, it's not the easiest process in the world for me anyway. I didn't find that to be the easiest process. However, when I started really being able to click over that, oh yeah, there is just a demonstration across the board for people that are really deeply into their healing and into their spiritual work. This is a time when there's a huge push, so try not to take it too personally when it's the general public. And when it is, you know, up your butt and close up and personal with, this is somebody that I know very well and they're doing this, I had to get to the point for myself where I just said, okay, expect the most evil, demonic, horrible behavior that could possibly come your direction. Assume it's going to be the worst, which sounds like a law of attraction nightmare. However, I had to set my expectations lower and lower and lower of some of the things that were going on around me, because that was just where it was headed, was be real about what's headed your way, and don't be slow in understanding that it can't stay, it gotta go, because I'm not going to get where I need to go if I get stuck in all the emotional hurt and wounding of, how could they do that? That was so cruel. And things are cruel. Humans are amazingly able to do some stuff to one another that just blows my mind. I mean, I'm not so mad at a person that I'm going to take food or shelter or safety or whatever from them. Now, when I'm speaking truth, it can feel like I'm snatching their safety from them by saying, yeah, that was wrong and messed up. However, I'm not going to put my hand into the middle of their life and make them homeless, or steal their food, their money, their meds, their whatever, or their car, or do some sort of vandalism thing, or stalk, or anything like that. All of those things that are just, they're so out of balance and they're so wrong that it amazes me, and now amuses me almost at, wow, you just went to great lengths to really make your point that you're not happy. Which, okay, at this point, I'm going to continue to feed myself with, yeah, I'm going to use that instead of lose that. I'm going to use that and continue to glow up and blow up the way that I need to in my life, because I'm highly successful by my standards, not by somebody else's, could care less, by my own standards. Am I feeling better? Do I look overall better? Am I happier? You know, is my overall environment more prosperous than it was this time last year, this time last month, this time last week? And if I see a sharp incline in that, then I'm going to go with, yeah, I think I'll stick with my program and not get too locked in or bothered or triggered by, you know, the superfluous of the bird bees who might be standing around still trying to send their energy to me or anybody else. This isn't just a me thing. And poor me. This is worldwide. It's the time of what we're doing cosmologically, astrologically, spiritually. We are ascending. The planet is going through major upgrades, and we're ascending at a rapid pace. And those people that are waking up, you know, those that are waking up and really wanting to, you know, at least be curious about it, once they take the bite and get down there and start doing it, it's exponential, the wave goes. However, we still have, you know, a fairly strong force of people that are just absolutely dug in. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. No. Which that's their right to do that. However, the right does not extend into the lane of another person where you get to change their whole world and change their whole way of living and being, etc. We are an incredibly invasive species, incredibly the most invasive species on the planet. And not only do we invade, you know, animal, plant kingdom, all of that, we invade one another all day long. And 444 just passed, and we don't think a second thing of it. And I can understand, you know, I grew up with lousy boundaries and dysfunction too. I don't know anybody that didn't, honestly, have some level of dysfunction. That is the old paradigm. However, we're moving out of that, and even if the rest of the world wasn't, I just feel better when I'm not in a toxic and dysfunctional relationship where I have to worry about alchemizing what you're doing towards my direction, alchemize it before I can use it. I sure would be a more direct route to just have a more loving, honest communication that involves forgiveness and compassion and all of those juicy, wonderful things, the red words from the Bible, those work for me. Buddha stuff, that works for me too. Anything that's a high vibration, well, that's what I'm interested in. And those that aren't interested in that, they don't have to be friend. However, you don't get to kill me, or anybody else that's in that path or on that path. My good red road says that I do it this way. That's how I'm going to do it, because I answer to divinity. I don't answer to a human face before I answer to divinity. And I don't ask a human face to define that for me. And that's how I know that glow up and blow up success for me works, is that when I made that switch in my mind that, there isn't a human being that's going to have a better answer than I do about my divine. It's mine. And so those predetermined, shoved paradigm things, no thanks. I'm just not interested. That's not what I want to do. I wasn't very happy, and now I am. And so how can I keep alchemizing, moving forward, and changing the algorithm here is to let me find a way to alchemize that fear that's belonging to somebody else and use that as nourishment and food, and go, okay, I'm really getting powered down with knuckling down of outside energy that's really, means that I'm doing my job. And I hear that from a lot of light workers and starseeds and people that are energy healers and readers and divination, that kind of stuff. They really talk about it, that, man, I've been getting a lot of hate, thrown my way, and good. That's challenging people, at least. Now, it's not a lot of fun to receive all that shit. However, it's challenging people at least to, you're being given the choice. Do you want to go this direction, or do you want to go that direction? And when they choose to go the ugly route, okay, I can't stop them. I can't make them do something different. And when I let go of that control, Buddha, 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 let go of the attachment to, how could you? I'm going to punish you now for what you did and get this result. I didn't find that work very well, because the people that were throwing it my way, they didn't get the result they were looking for. I'm sure, they got some of the results they were looking for, but if you were looking for me to stop, slow down, or change my reality, my truth, or my vision, not going to happen. Because when I plugged into that, 200 pounds is gone, financial abundance is rolling in, a whole brand new way of life, and just feeling much better and physically healthier, and in a better relationship with myself that I didn't have. I didn't even know who self was. There were so many identities in me that were just globs and constructs of ideas from other people of what I should be, or what I thought I should be, based on the the prejudices of other people. I'm not ever going to sit at a table again where somebody got some stank about my tattoos and piercings. I just won't, or they have a problem with my language, or they have a problem with, me. There's a way to, if I'm offensive in my language, there's a way to say, wow, that's something I could really appreciate. Would you mind? That I would consider. However, I'm supposed to interpret your snark and your, from across the table with the, or don't talk about that when he's here, or we can't eat this at this restaurant because he doesn't like that smell, or she doesn't like that restaurant. We have to go here instead. One or two things. I've had some specialty hot house, things like that for myself, and it's aggravating that other people had to make adjustment for me. So it's not that I am sitting in piety and going, yeah, that's just terrible, they do that. But when that's an ongoing long-term thing, that I can't go to a certain restaurant, because that's just one person out of the 10-person group doesn't want to be there, or doesn't like the smell, or doesn't like the atmosphere, or whatever, then, take a hit, or take a pill, or do whatever you got to do, because one person being adapted to is very different than, a collective, a group of people, 4 or 5 or more, that really would like it to have that way. Okay, well, we can make a concession for one person once or twice, or every now and then, but when we're wrapping our whole existence around the hothouse flower needs of me, or you, or them, that's wrong. It's out of balance. And it doesn't have to be that people would beat me over the head for having been like that, or me beat them over the head. However, when I go to you and say, that's really aggravating, it's just that's disappointing, that's whatever it is, can we talk about that? And there's not going to be really honest communication, just more of the gaslighting and the shaming and the, I guess, things like that, it reminds me of a conversation I had to have with someone that I was, thought I had been very close with. And I said something that, this is what I need, this is what I expect. And the return fire on that was completely unrelated. Yeah, there she goes, just, not even grateful about whatever. And I'm thinking, did you hear or read or understand what I just said? Because that's not even remotely related. That's you tossing it back at me, being angry that I'm putting you up on the block to say, this is it. We're at that critical point where you're going to need to decide which way you go with this, but you're rude and wrong. That's the wrong song, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Would you like to pull it in before this is just terminated? And I don't like to go that direction, but heaven to Betsy, when you absolutely are coming back with something that's, are you in a reality anywhere close to mine? Because you trying to make it sound like I'm crazy because I'm expecting you to answer to the question that I asked. I don't want to hear your retort, your snot back of what you think of what I said. Or we're going to gaslight it your direction about how I couldn't be made happy. I wasn't made happy because you didn't answer the question. So gaslighting is huge right now. It can be. It's not in my world because I absolutely refuse to allow it in 11:11 anymore. And I don't want to be gaslighting anyone else by, sitting around in my non-truth that I let, kind of some falsehoods sit in my mouth because I don't say them. Speaking out and saying, this is what I observe. We don't need to speak the truth of everything. However, I was leaving things out because I was trying to protect the feelings of other people. And the truth is that in this time right now, always amped up to, you got to protect your own feelings, your own energy, and don't worry about protecting other people's stuff because they will throw you under the bus because of fear. And, it might not be a lack of love. I don't know. It's a lack of self-love at a minimum, that when we can just casually dismiss and discard of people, and then also on top of it, try to blame them for wanting to leave that abusive relationship, that is just domestic violence at its finest. And, that's revisionist history when we go back and try to snark it to the direction of the victim. There are victims all over the place. Everybody's a victim in this system. However, when you continue to want to abuse and be that, power differential where I'm just going to keep on doing it, we're changing. And whether anybody in my life now or back then or in the future, whatever, likes it, how badly do we want to be in each other's lives if we're willing to sit at tables and go, well, and then talk smack about people when they're not there? I had no idea there was so much interest in me 3 years later. Really? I thought this would be boring by now. However, okay, sacred cow, whatever you want to do, seems like quite a waste of life to keep giving me food for. I'm just going to continue to alchemize that. And every time I alchemize it, I grow spiritually and I know more and I'm given more gifts. So, why would you want to lose your spiritual gifts? Risking, high risk behavior like that will lose you your gifts, and it will also cause, karma to come back in to where the gifts that could have helped you alchemize that and move it on were taken from you because there was a lot of karmic dabbling and a lot of, just very demonic type stuff, evil, and it's inappropriate. It's wrong. We have a lack of boundaries. So I encourage everyone, find a way and come in here first is how I did it. Find a way to alchemize that and use that for food. Every little nugget of hate that's sent my way, yep, sometimes it still catches me wrong and hurts my feelings. However, mostly I just go, oh, thanks, I'm on the right track, that I'm getting either radio silence or I'm getting a lot of resistance or I got some weird shit showing up in my closet here, my quantum world, that I got, oh, that's where we are with this still? Cool, let's dance. And we do, because that's what Spirit tells me to do. Otherwise, Spirit works on that for me and talks to higher selves of other people or whatever Spirit does outside of me. I'm not responsible for it. I only know that divinity has it all covered. And I trust that, know that, and grow that. And I don't do that by getting stuck on somebody else's lame ass opinion of what they think I'm doing or should be doing. Because if anybody were to look at me now, okay, let's put it into the realm of what Kate needs to really understand about that is when Kate looks in the mirror today, she doesn't see a 300-pound lady who's on 1,200 meds and hates her life and everybody in it and is a monster to be around. You can understand why people were interested in, let's change this and, lose her. Well, how about it would have been better to say, let's lose the behavior, Kate. And when Kate turned around and said, yeah, let's lose the behavior, people in my life, let's lose behavior and let's talk about healing, we weren't on the same page about that, unfortunately. And that's when I found out how much loyalty matters and how much, team ethic and what we're really about. And I don't want to shame or blame or be nasty about anybody that doesn't have a lot of courage. However, this isn't the time to not grow that and not find a way to get those nuggets of butter, turn those things into some power nuggets in a minute, like in a hot second, find a way to not let that ruin your whole day, because if that person can ruin your day, then that person can. It's just a constant ruination all day long, 24/7. And I live that. It's a horrible way to go, where, I'll get hurt feelings all the time and then be told how sensitive I am. And what? Okay, then find a way to alchemize that away and use that for food. So thank you to, every hater I've ever had. You've helped me to grow stronger, because I've had to deflect that stuff. Return to sender. Thanks anyway. I don't want that. Send it back to you, because it's not for me, obviously. That address that you sent that to, that woman doesn't exist anymore. So it's got to go back to you. You sent mail here and it's returned to sender, then that's going back to your address where you actually live, not where I don't live that you tried to send it to. So anyhow, I'm going to stop now, and thank you very much for your time. I hope that you can find your sublime and really find a way to do little Pac-Man, bites of, oh, hater, and maybe pull over for a second and go, oh, that really hurt my feelings, that sucked. Have to work through those, and then actually work through them and move it on, so that I can send that thank you note fruit basket with an open heart, truly. Not to be, just flippant, but I really can say to every hater I've had and everybody who's ever done me wrong, thank you, because you turned me into the badass warrior that I had to be in my own world. And if I didn't see myself as my own badass warrior, I was going to continue to see everybody else as being stronger and better able and more capable than Kate, can do it. I can't do it. Poor me. And the truth is that when you're left to your own devices and it's set up, divinity sets it up, that is you and nobody but you. Kate, what you gonna do? Well, find a way to Pac-Man that stuff, Ms. Pac-Man that stuff. How about don't gender identify, just pack it and yum it up, and then glow it up, blow it up, and continue to say thank you if you can, where you can. I wasn't always able to do that, thanks for that. I appreciate it. You really helped me hone my skills. I wish I didn't have to become such a great combat warrior, but thank you, because now I do know how to do that. And people are throwing their shade and their shit. It doesn't stick very much. You can miss me with that, and most of the time it does. And even when it does hit every once in a while, so what? Hurts my feelings for a few minutes. I cry, get over it. It's a matter of knowing how to get out of it. And that's the crucial part of knowing how to alchemize. Take that bite and go, oh, that one, I didn't like that, and move it on. So I hope that's made sense. It seems a little bit long, and perhaps maybe it hasn't. But anyhow, I hope you're well. Take care of yourselves, whatever part of the day you're in, and enjoy being in your skin, because you're divine. So absolutely fine. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again next time. Be well, friends. Bye-bye.